Let's get a piece of notebook paper, and I have a plain mechanical pencil. Starting at the top line, I'm going to mark a couple inches, couple dots underneath. Separate the dots a little bit more. Third line, separate the dots a little bit more. Not quite that far, almost to the end. Then at the top, to save space, we're going to do dots again, a longer one, a medium one, a small one. And our goal here is to draw a straight line from the dot on the left to the dot on the right. Do a couple little practice passes, and then draw 10 times, trying to connect those dots in as perfect a line, one line on top of each other. Now moving more of the arm through the elbow. You might have to go a little slower on this one. Again, 10 times. And this longer one, even more of the elbow. Do you see how my hand has moved to the middle of the pencil? It's not at the tip. I'm trying to get the full range of motion with my arm. I'm left-handed, so I start from left to right. My hand is not on the paper. 10 times across. Now I'm going to go from right to left. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult for me. You'll find one way is easier, one way is a little more difficult. So that's the direction you should practice more. Again, doing a couple practice passes before I put my pencil down on the paper. 10 times, trying to repeat the same stroke over each one. Now this is just wrist, 10 times. Shake your hand out. And I forgot to add the long line from right to left, so I'm going to add that here. All the way, using the whole arm, elbow. Hand is not on the paper. Trying to repeat that same line over and over, one on top of the other. Now I'm going to do some circles. You notice how my pencil is more of a vertical. I'm doing 3 passes, not stopping, trying to get that pencil to land in the same spot 3 times. This is more about fingers and wrist, getting the circles the same size all the way across the paper. In these I went to the right, which is clockwise, just like the hands on the clock. Now I'm going to go the other way. And if you'll watch, these tend to be a little bit more difficult for me. Again, you'll find one direction is easier, one is more difficult. Again, going straight across the page. I'm going counterclockwise, 3 times around, until I get to the end of the line. And I'm circling right here. I have a little, kind of like a little pointy spot in my circles that I need to work on. And I drew an arrow of which direction I was going. Now I'm going to do 2 lines of circles. And still using the fingers and wrist. Going a little bit slower because the circle got larger. Trying to make them all the same all the way across the page. 3 passes. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 more here at the end, so I have 8. Again, arrow showing which direction. And now I'm going to go the other way. These are not quite as hard as the small circles because I'm using more of my wrist and arm. Still need some practice on this one though. You'll find one is comfortable and one is more awkward. So remember that when you're drawing, you'll want to make sure that you're getting your comfortable stroke. Now this one, I'm making little circles, one line high, all the way across the page, trying to develop a pattern of speed and consistency. And then I'm going to start on the right hand side. You can absolutely start, if you're right-handed, on the right hand side and go to the left, and then do the left to the right. Just make the notation on your line which direction you went. And now we're going to do some vertical and horizontal lines, 6 at a time. Do 6 going down, space, and you don't want any pauses between the 6 lines. 6, space, and then 6 more. And those were starting at the top and going down. And that's the easy way for me, and the right to left is more difficult, so I put an easy one with a hard one instead of doing 2 difficult ones together and 2 easy ones together. So you should know by now which direction is easier for you. Again, my fingers are not at the very end of my pencil. They're part of the way up the barrel. Then make a note. I went down on that one and from right to left. Do the same thing again, starting on the right hand side of the paper and going up. And this one will probably be more awkward for you. This is not a normal way to write letters, is starting from the bottom and going up. So you might need a little practice on this one, kind of like I do. But it is 6, space, and then 6 again. Now I'm going to do from left to right, trying to connect and make all those lines the same distance apart, starting and stopping on the first and last line, not slowing down. And this video is in real time. This is not sped up or slowed down. So this one is from left to right and moving from bottom to top. And the last set, we're going to do some vertical short and medium length lines. Same as we did at the top. And if we had longer paper, we could make longer lines. We'll make a little squiggle line here because the ones on the left, I'm going to do starting at the top. The ones on the right hand side, I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. If you had longer paper, you could make these practice lines longer. You can do these in any order if you want to practice. Again, 10 times from dot to dot. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And those first 3 are the practice, and then 10 with the pencil on the paper. If you'll do those practice, that air drawing, it's muscle memory. Your brain does not know whether the pencil is on the paper, and you will have better luck connecting those dots if you'll do that practice drawing in the air. 10 times between each dot, trying to get your pencil to make the same mark on the paper from dot to dot. Then make your notation of which direction you went. Don't forget to write your name and date at the top of your paper.